Hi everyone, welcome back. So as you probably already know, it's not very easy to find a video light that has a Fresnel lens, especially when we're talking about LED lights and especially when we're talking about low budget lights. If we're working with lower budget lights like the Pixar Pro or something like this, the DOF 1000, or the many other lights I've reviewed in the past that have a Bowens connection. Just a really fantastic little low budget add-on for your light. And obviously what this allows you to do is zoom your light in and get more power in the center, you know, like a nice hot spot with a lot of power, and reduce spill quite a lot. Now there's probably a lot of different ways you might want to use this, and that really just depends on your needs and preferences. But for me, this is a perfect example of why I would keep this in my kit. Here's an example. I've set up a key light over here and a backlight or hair light. And so that's quite far away. And in this example, I've placed it so you can actually see where it is. But if I'm actually filming, you know, a subject, whether it's a music video or an interview or a narrative, I probably wouldn't want the light in the shot. And so this allows me to get the light really far away from the subject, so completely out of the way in the background somewhere, and still get a really nice hair light. So here I've got it about 2 meters behind me, maybe 2.5 meters, and it's still only at minimum brightness. And there's two important reasons why you might want to use something like this. First of all, you want the light to be brighter. So you need to place the light really far away, so you need it brighter, or you want to create a very strong backlight on your subject. And the second reason is that because we're getting a tighter spotlight, we're not getting unwanted light or unwanted color on the rest of the background. So if you had just a bare bulb, it would get light everywhere, and you'd probably get unwanted light from your backlight. And of course, that really depends on the uses. Of course, you can use lights that spill as your backlights. In fact, I do that a lot. I do that with softboxes. But if I want a light that isn't spilling, especially if I'm using colors, then this is great. And here is an example. I've placed the orange gel, which comes included with it. So it came with 4 different ones. So in this example, I guess it kind of looks a little bit sort of like a sunset sort of light. And so this does add a lot of functionality and a lot of power to your lighting kit for very low cost. So that's one of the reasons why I really like this. And now these things are pretty good, fairly easy to damage, which is the case with most filters like this that I've seen. So I've got some Pixar Pro ones as well, which also got damaged fairly easily. But you know, you just need to be fairly careful with them, and it's not going to be such a difficult thing to fix either. I mean, you could easily glue different gels to this if you wanted to. So if these weren't the colors you wanted, you could buy some different gels and attach them to here. But the nice thing is they're very lightweight and they clip really nicely to the light. They just go like that, clip into place. So really nice that they've included these. This is also going to be great if you're shooting high-speed video and you actually need just a ton of light on a small area for shooting, you know, in those really high shutter speeds. Now, in some cases with some lights, there may be some small marks left over in the image that you're going to get, in the light that you're going to get, some small lines caused by the shape of your LED. But with most lights, the ones that I've tested, it was either, you know, a very small amount or it wasn't an issue at all. Now this should give you around 10 times the amount of brightness on some lights, but on some lights it won't be quite that much. So here with the DOF LED 1000, we're getting around 3,400 lux at 1 meter away. And then with this attached, a maximum of around 32,000 lux. Now, a quick Google search told me that the daylight sun midday is around 200,000 lux. And here, as an example, at about a foot away, we're getting basically midday sunlight right here. So it's a lot of light. And what that means is you need to be careful. You want to make sure that this is in a place where someone's not going to walk in front of the light and look into it and basically be looking into the sun. So, you definitely want to make sure that you avoid that because you don't want to, you know, damage someone's eyes with this. Now, obviously we have an automatic reflex to look away from a bright light, but I'm just saying this so that you will know that you should be trying to be as safe as possible. So here we've got the Pixar Pro Mark II, which I just got. And for those of you wondering where to get this lovely light, it's not available yet. I got a pre-release version. Here we have the Pixar Pro shooting light in all directions. So we've got the light going right the way to the ceiling and to the floor. So it's wasting a ton of light at 1 meter. And then with the reflector that comes with the Pixar Pro, we're getting 12,000 lux at 1 meter. Now here with the Fresnel lens attached, first of all, you can see that it's creating a nice tight circle of light. So here at the widest, it's giving around 16,000 lux, a little bit over that. So halfway zoomed in, we're getting the maximum amount of light, which is 18,000 lux. And then zoomed in all the way, we go back down again. And so we're back down to 16,000 lux. Now, I think that the reason for that is that at maximum extension, we're actually sending quite a lot of light into this black material, which means that it's being wasted. Now, what you potentially could do is paint the inside of this silver to make it reflect more light, which would give you a brighter light, if I'm not mistaken, but it wouldn't be quite as tight of a circle. Okay, so here we are 3 meters away, and bare bulb, we're getting 570 lux. And then here with the Fresnel attachment, we're getting 2,500 lux at maximum spot. And here around the mid spot, we're able to go over 3,000 lux. And now here's an example of the amount of zoom that we can get. So here we have basically no zoom whatsoever. There's light going right down to the floor, almost under the light stand. And then here we have the Fresnel attached. And then we're getting a nice spot. There's quite a soft fall off, which I think is a good thing, which means that if you've got your the edge of your spot in the shot, then it's not going to create a harsh line. We zoom in, then we get a little bit of a tighter spot. Still not a perfect spot, but very, very useful. Okay, so now a little exposure example with and without this. So I've got the camera set to ISO 100, f5.6 and 1/50th of a second. So this is now set to about halfway, so it's giving the most brightness. And I'm going to connect this up. So now I've had to go down to f14 ISO 100 to get a correct exposure on that spot right there. And so obviously the area around it is completely underexposed, but that's the whole point of this. It aims the light in one direction and gives you more light where you've aimed the light. So great product, definitely recommended. I am definitely adding this to my lighting kit. And so I would say get at least one of these if you're working with the Bowens mount lights. They are lightweight, they are well built. This does rattle around, but I think that's good because I'd rather have this, you know, very easy to move rather than have it stiff and hard to move. So I think that's perfectly fine. And even though it rattles and it sounds cheap, but the build quality here is nice, nice and tough, really nice strong plastic. I mean, I can barely bend it. So nice. And this is made of real glass with a nice metal mesh glass protector over here so that, you know, it doesn't get bumped and broken. Really nice, lovely, true Fresnel lens. So as you can see, those ridges mean this is actually a Fresnel lens, not like some focusable LEDs which just have like this bulbous lens attached to them. Okay, now I'm sure some of you are wondering whether this is going to work with these little LED lights like this one from Aputure, and the answer is no, it's not going to work with those. So as you can see, just makes the light dimmer. It's not intended for use with something like this, and these lights already shine the light forwards most of the time with most of these kind of LEDs. Each little LED has a little lens attached to it already, which is focusing the light a little bit. So this has no use for panels. So should you buy one of these? Absolutely. I'll have links to this down below. And thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.